12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
Tyson closes yet another plant, this time a pork facility in the town of Perry, Iowa. What the company is saying just ahead. Plus, a one-of-a-kind livestock show is coming back to Manhattan, and
prices are going up. Cows are harder to find.
The price of beef on the rise. How much it could hit your wallet next time you're at the grocery store. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. The government is making changes when it comes to meat products labeled as product of the USA. Now, Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack making an announcement about it at this year's National Farmers Union Convention. The agency says a final rule allows a voluntary product of USA or made in the USA label claim to be used on meat, poultry, and egg products, but only on products derived from animals born, raised, slaughtered, and processed here in the U.S. Vilsack says the rule is a response to thousands of comments from stakeholders as well as a consumer survey. Kansas Congressman Jake LaTurner introduces legislation to help struggling rural hospitals here in Kansas. The Rural Emergency Hospital Adjustment Act would allow previously closed rural hospitals to reopen. Those hospitals would have to apply for the Rural Emergency Hospital designation to get the funding to reopen. Now, the legislation would extend the eligibility date back to January 1st of 2015 for hospitals that were either critical access hospitals or rural hospitals with no more than 50 beds. Senator Jerry Moran has introduced companion legislation in the United States Senate. USDA says rural America is seeing higher disease-related mortality rates than urban areas. The mortality rate in the U.S. has seen a decline since the 1960s. According to a report, a significant contributing factor to this trend is the higher death rate from diseases among working-age individuals in rural America. We are watching your wallet. Be prepared for higher beef prices. The American Farm Bureau Federation says those prices could reach record highs. 12 News reporter Brock Wilson talked with the Kansas ranchers about what's leading to the increase in prices.
Recently, Kansas ranchers have been culling their herds because of drought and other natural disasters. Here at the weekly cattle auction in El Dorado, they tell me they're optimistic about the future of the cattle market, but that doesn't necessarily mean good news for consumers. As cattle go to auction, prices keep getting higher.
We've harvested a lot of cows out of the country, which has tightened up supplies.
Ranchers harvested those cattle mainly because of the drought.
Now that we're filling back up on water with the tighter supplies, prices are going up. Cows are harder to find.
Kansas rancher Josh Mueller says that's not really bad news for ranchers, especially those that bought cattle before the beginning of the year.
Prices have gotten higher just about every week, and you know, the guys that got in early are feeling pretty good about it.
But consumers are not.
It's kind of a simple supply and demand. If we have less cattle, we have less beef.
Scarlett Madinger with the Kansas Livestock Association says less beef means higher prices.
The likelihood that beef prices will go up again in 2024 is high. If those will be record level, I don't know.
One thing cattle experts do know is demand is high, and there are no signs that will change anytime soon.
Our product has gotten better, more consistent, and we see less and less people backing away from beef just because of price point.
Consumers still love beef, and they want beef on their tables and on their menu.
In El Dorado, Brock Wilson, 12 News.
Right now, the American cattle supply is as low as it's been since the 1950s. The Kansas Livestock Association says beef prices won't start going back down until ranchers replenish their herds, which could take years. Tyson has announced it is shutting down another processing plant, this time a pork facility in the town of Perry, Iowa. It means a loss of more than 1,200 jobs. The plant is the largest employer in Perry. The plant, which processes about 9,000 hogs a day, has operated for about 60 years. It is set to close on June 28th. Tyson saying in a statement the decision was not easy, but that it emphasizes its focus on optimizing the efficiency in its operations to best serve customers. Over the past year, Tyson has announced the closure of 6 U.S. chicken plants. The USDA announces over $25 million in funding towards electric utilities in Kansas. The funding is being given as a loan to 2 projects in rural areas. $21 million of it will go to a project by Western Cooperative Electric, the rest to Nemaha Marshall Electric. Between the 2 projects, over 500 Kansans will be connected and over 100 power lines will be improved across 18 counties. Still ahead, March is off to a warm start, but recently South Central Kansas has seen some rain and some cooler temperatures. 12 News talked with one farmer about how his crops have been doing with this weather. That's ahead on Eye on Agriculture.